Hi there, Star Wars collectors, and welcome to another Bossk's Bounty video. And in this video, we're going to be taking a look at the Star Wars The Vintage Collection Joruus C'baoth from the Heir to the Empire. Now, many of you fans of the original books by Timothy Zahn, the Thrawn trilogy, the original Thrawn trilogy, are going to be over the moon that we finally have this guy in the Vintage Collection. And from now on in the review, I'm just going to be calling him Joruus, purely because I don't want to attempt to pronounce his surname again and absolutely butcher it. So for anyone out there that reads it differently, that's how I pronounce it. And this is definitely an interesting character for sure. One that I never thought we'd get in the Vintage Collection, and one that, as I said, is going to make a lot of people happy. For anyone that doesn't know who this guy is, I'm just going to read what Wikipedia says very quickly. It says, Joruus was an insane dark Jedi who played an essential role in the Thrawn campaign. A clone of the Jedi Master Joruus C'baoth, who led Outbound Flight, he was created by Palpatine in an attempt to perfect the cloning process of Force users. After killing the Guardian of the Imperial Storehouse at Mount Tantiss, on Wayland, C'baoth used his Force powers to rule over the natives of Wayland. So there you go. There is a short bio of this character for anybody out there that didn't know anything about him. But I do advise that you read the books. It's been a long, long time since I read Heir to the Empire. We're talking years ago now. And it's something that I really should sort of reacquaint myself, because I remember it being an excellent book. And of course, lots of people out there think that it's the true sequel trilogy, especially for the people that didn't really like the Disney sequel trilogy. But here he is with a blue name pill, blue background behind the figure, makes it pop. He is a very sort of biblical looking character. He has the long beard and the hair. He has the swappable hand for his Force lightning. We've got a lightsaber in there, a lightsaber hilt, and of course he wears sandals as well. So yeah, very biblical looking character he really is. And the card back looks great, doesn't it? I mean, that is the pose that he has on the book that I have anyway. Obviously, where they arrange the characters all on the front of the book, that's kind of what he's doing at the back there of all the characters. So pretty cool character to have in the line. And, you know, we're going to take a look at the back of the card, and then we're going to open him up and check out the figure. All right, then. So there's the card back one more time. Really, really nice card back, this one, for all you carded collectors out there. I'm sure you're going to enjoy this one. Of course, it's unpunched as well, because he was part of the 3-pack, which is a sealed 3-pack, so there's no reason to punch the cards. Always love it when they do that. And of course, the other videos will be on the channel for you to check out. He's VC361 in the line. There is a little bio there that you can read if you want to pause the video, and there's the figure there, Vintage Collection logo. And that's about it, really. But yeah, I'm going to be opening up this one, even though it's a beautiful card back in beautiful condition, absolutely perfect. But we're going to be opening them up right now and checking out the figure. All right, then. So here is Joruus out of the packaging, looking pretty damn awesome, if I do say so. He looks fantastic. The head sculpt looks amazing, which we will take a closer up look at in a second. And also the paint applications on the hair and the beard as well. You know, they've done a really great job in bringing out some of that detail, some of the textures. He has a 2-layered soft goods piece for his skirt, if you like, his robes. And apparently this is an all new sculpt, this figure. But I think the only thing that may be of any reuse is the swappable hand with the lightning effects. It looks to be exactly the same sculpt that they used for the Emperor and for the Count Dooku figure, but you can forgive them for that, really. You don't really need a new sculpt for that. And yeah, he just looks great. And we'll take a closer up look in a second of the detail. One thing to note, to get the medallion on, you do need to pop the head off. You can't fit it over his head or anything like that. And it is covered up ever so slightly from the beard, because the beard does come down quite far to his chest. So it kind of covers up the medallion a little bit, but that's just a very, very small complaint. I think he looks great. And yeah, this to me is something that I never thought would happen in the Vintage Collection. So everybody out there that's a fan of the Thrawn trilogy, the original Thrawn trilogy, is going to be very, very excited to get this figure in hand. But let's take a closer up look at the figure in more detail. All right, then. So let's take a closer up look at the figure itself. And in fact, let's take a really close up look at that head sculpt there, because I think they've done an absolutely phenomenal job. You've got to remember how small these figures are, 3.75. So the level of detail that they've managed to get into that sculpt and into the paint applications, the photo real. His eyes just look so real to me. And then we've got that sort of two-tone paint applications on the beard and the hair. We've got like a grey with like a darker grey going through it as well, just bringing out some of that detail. Now you can see his little medallion around his neck there. If you do want to remove the medallion, you do have to pop the head off. Equally, if you want to put it back on, you have to pop the head off as well. So we'll just do that now very, very quickly so you can just see how that hangs around his neck there. Now I did think that the hair ever so slightly gets in the way of it. It just sort of goes ever so slightly below his hair. You can just see it there on his chest, but I did find it quite interesting looking at the sculpt without the head on. You know, this dude has a pretty awesome six-pack going on there, so not bad for an older dude. He is in pretty good shape, and in terms of the articulation, obviously the head isn't going to work too well, but because of the way the beard and the hair has been sculpted, that's going to limit it a little bit, even though it does have a double barbell in the neck there. We have the shoulders, which are on a hinge. They go all the way round. Really good elbow joints. You can see that sort of sculpting work on the sleeves hanging down. Pretty cool. We have a hinge on the torso. Now we do have barbell hips. They are going to be restricted ever so slightly because of the sort of lower robes. You know, they do go up eventually if you want them to, but of course the robes are all one piece. They don't have a split up the side. And then we have these tassels on the front here. So you've got that double layered soft goods, which is really nice. I do have the lightsaber hilt attached to his belt there, which is like a wraparound belt around the body. So you can see all of those details there. He also does have splits at the top of the thigh. We have really good knee joints there. If only all figures came with as good knee joints as those. And of course, we also have rocket ankles. And you can see his little sandals there with the strappings around his lower legs, which of course you're not going to really see too much of because, you know, most of the time that sort of lower part of the robe is going to be covering those legs, but still the detail is there nonetheless, which is obviously a good thing. Here is the lightsaber hilt, specific to the character, no doubt. And as I mentioned, and as you saw, that just clips in to the belt into that little peg hole. So it sits there quite nicely. Let's put the medallion back on. And then we'll put the head back on as well. Fantastic figure, really is. Amazing detail. Great articulation. And nice paintwork on the hair and the beard there. In terms of the other accessories, we do get a lit lightsaber, a red lightsaber there for this Dark Jedi. Same hilt, of course. And then we also get the swappable hand there with the lightning. So this is his right hand. So there's his thumb. So if we just do that right now, we'll just pull this hand out. The wrists do have hinges, but we can just put that one in there, which doesn't have the hinge. And there you go. You can have him with his lightning effects. Pretty cool. Let's take that back out. Put that back in. Let's see, you've got that hinge there on the wrist. And just a fantastic looking figure, it really is. And as I said, you know, this is going to please so many people that we're getting this kind of thing in the vintage collection. And yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. Are you a fan of the Thrawn trilogy? Are you happy that we have this guy in the TVC line? Let me know your thoughts. But for now, I want to thank you all for watching. Be sure to check out my other videos for this Heir to the Empire 3-pack. Thank you all for watching. Thank you to my Patreon supporters and channel members. As always, your support means a great deal, so thank you so much. Thank you for watching, everybody, and we shall see you on the next one.